for joining us on Around Town, where the City of Miramar is committed to keeping you, our community, informed about the things that will make a difference in your everyday life. My name is Stella Tokar, and I'm today your host for Around Town, and I'm joined by Helen McGriffin, who I'm delighted to introduce to you.
Hi, my name is Helen McGriffin. I am the Chief Lending Officer at Tropical Financial Credit Union.
The economists are saying that 2012 is going to loosen up a little bit, and they're going to see more activity in the area of lending in a variety of ways. So as we're talking about borrowing, what are some of the things that we're going to see in the area? We know that cars and houses are the prime things to look for funding, but what other things can we expect?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. We anticipate and we expect to see some improvement in the lending landscape over last year. However, one of the important things to remember is that the marketplace, in spite of the improving trends, is a very different place from where it was prior to 2007. Millions and millions of consumers today have been impacted by loss of jobs, financial disorder in their money. It's taken a toll on their ability to be able to handle additional loans or additional obligations at this time. So as we start to see them reemerge and re-enter into the marketplace and begin to borrow again, there will be different types of requirements and needs. And I think what we will be seeing in the marketplace is the need for more relationship building with consumers. It'll be important to be able to sit down and have one-on-one conversations with the borrower, be able to really understand what has impacted them over the last few years, what has caused any kind of disorder in their financial portfolios, and how can we best meet those needs. And it'll become what I call story lending. They'll be beginning to sit down and really talk about what their personal requirements are, how that has impacted them, and what we can do to meet those needs and those obligations.
What kind of lending are you seeing? You know, we're so used to hearing all the lending about homes and cars. What other types of lending should they consider?
An interesting new type of loan that is emerging is what we call lifestyle loans. And a lifestyle loan is a multitude of different things. It can include things as unique as cosmetic surgeries, dental surgery, dental improvements, veterinarian care for pets, things such as funeral expenses and funeral needs, home improvements. Wow. It's that a sundry of the variety of different needs that borrowers have today that they have put on the back burner because of the economy and the different types of things that have prohibited them from borrowing. And they're starting now to emerge and say, you know, I do have these needs. Needs are different for each and every person, but these types of personal loans falling under the umbrella of lifestyle loans are starting to become quite popular, and we're starting to see a lot of requests for that kind of loan.
That's really interesting, lifestyle loans.
Yes. You'll hear a lot more about those, I think, in the year ahead.
That's pretty incredible because it opens up from the staple of what we've been used to for the last 3 or 4 years of just mortgages and cars. They're just the basic fundamental need to stay afloat in your home. Now it just seems so much more flexible and appealing, actually.
I think it's that pent-up need that people kind of put on the back burner to say, you know, I'm not going to go after these things because I'm still struggling to just stay afloat. And now they're starting to say, you know, I want to have some additional things in my life, and these are the types of things that they'll be able to look forward to.
Well, that's really exciting, actually, because it does open up a whole new opportunity for them. But I can't help but to think that some of our viewers are still pretty scared about this whole mortgage process that they have to go through, so they still have to pay attention to that. How does that process look?
The mortgage process can be very overwhelming at first glance, but there's a number of things that people can do to make it a lot less stressful. And it really starts with the very basic of pulling together all of your financial requirements. Pull together your pay stubs, your last 2 years' taxes, pull together bank statements, assets such as 401ks or any type of investments. Pull those financial pieces together and then contact a mortgage loan officer from a trusted lender. And speak with the mortgage loan officer They will take a complete application and get you pre-approved, let you know how much money you're able to borrow. And then the next process is to contact a realtor. Go out and shop for a home. You've been pre-approved, you now know how much money you can spend on a new home, and begin shopping, find that dream home. In today's market, there are so many foreclosure properties for sale, there's so many short sales for sale, that it's, again, changed the landscape considerably in terms of shopping for a new home. It typically takes longer to be able to transact a sale on either a short sale or foreclosure property. So a buyer has to be prepared for it to take a little bit longer than it does on a normal equity type sale. Additionally, some of the properties may be in less than perfect condition, so a buyer will need to be taking that into consideration as to whether or not they want to purchase a move-in condition home, or do they have assets or reserves that can do some home improvements. Once they have identified the home that they want to purchase and all parties have signed the purchase agreement, it is then time to proceed with the mortgage loan officer, turn in all of the documentation, submit your file to the processing department, order appraisals, order title searches, and it's normally a process of maybe 3 to 4 weeks in order to conclude all of that type of investigation and follow-up. The days of low doc, no documentation loans are gone. Buyers need to be prepared today to bring in all of the information that's requested by the lender and the lending organization. The quicker and better able they are to present that information up front, the faster and smoother that the entire closing process will take. It's not overwhelming. It's just a step-by-step process. And the closer you work with your mortgage loan officer and your lending organization, it becomes much easier and much smoother, and a lot of that fear and frustration goes away.
Well, houses are one of our biggest purchases in life, but right behind that is cars. And I'm sure there's pros and cons to used or new cars. And so what does that process look like?
Once again, it's a great idea to get pre-approved through your lending institution to know exactly how much you qualify for, rather than waiting until you get to the dealership to determine how much you can spend on a vehicle. Credit unions particularly are very, very good at educating and preparing a buyer for the purchase. We will typically sit down with a member and we can go through things such as the MSRP so that the buyer knows what to expect in terms of sticker price on cars. We can work with the members and the borrowers to be prepared to know what is the competitive price for cars, what are people paying for in the community, not just what the MSRP is, but what are other people at other dealerships paying for, so they can be prepared to know that. What are the options available on cars? We can completely educate that buyer so that when they get into the dealership, they know exactly what to expect, exactly what to negotiate. We've taken the haggling out of the process because they've been pre-approved, and many times they can even pick up an approved draft so that they can go in with the money and be prepared to purchase on site. So there's a lot of preparation that can eliminate the haggling and the worry and the concern and the all-day process of going through purchasing a car. Another thing that is becoming very popular with car purchasing, people who just don't want to be bothered with going from dealership to dealership to dealership and negotiating and haggling over price and color and options, and do you have the vehicle that I'm really looking for? No, you have to wait, is to use a buying service today. Credit unions such as Tropical Financial Credit Union can put you straight in touch with a buying service where you can tell them exactly what you want, how much you've been pre-approved for. They'll get that car on site, and at one stop you can go in and it'll be taken care of for you.
Additional fee for that service?
No additional fee for that. In fact, we are able to work closely to ensure that you're getting the best price for that car.
Wow, that is terrific.
It is.
There's nothing more powerful and controlling than walking onto a lot, knowing everything up front and just saying, this is what I want, and being in control of that purchase.
Yes, it is. It certainly gives you a sense of security, and it makes the process a lot more fun because now you're focused on the purchase itself, the car, picking out the shiny, beautiful new vehicle that you're going to take home with you.
Well, that's pretty exciting. But one of the other things I'm sure our viewers are concerned about are credit scores. We've heard a lot about, we see them on television, on commercials, and we hear about them all the time. How important is that credit score, and what should they know? What are the top 3 things that they should know about their credit score?
The FICO score that we hear about today is critical to your buying power. There's no doubt about it. It's important that members and customers and buyers and consumers understand how really critically important that is to get the best interest rate on a loan, to have the most purchasing power available to them. And a lot of that is inherent upon them to have good management, good control of their finances and good management of their money. The most important things, of course, are to pay your bills on time, ensure that you're not running your revolving credit lines up to the maximum amount. It's always a good policy to maintain the highest FICO score to only run up a third of your credit line. So keeping your finances within that kind of a range.
It's a good benchmark.
Yes, it is. And if you do run into trouble with repaying bills or with your credit, it's very important to work with the lender to try and determine what is the best way to get your loan back up to date or to get your credit repaired again so that they can start to partner with you and work with you to restore your credit. Again, one of the great things about credit unions is that typically the FICO score is not the only indicator that is being looked at for credit. It's an important indicator, no doubt about it. But credit unions typically will look at compensating factors, meaning other things that you have working for you. Strong time at the job, strong residency. Is this credit hiccup, so to speak, that's affecting your FICO score? Is it something that was temporary? Is it a result perhaps of this latest economic situation? Were you always a strong borrower previous to this? And a lot of those compensating factors will be taken into consideration.
And that will help then the buyer to really position themselves to not be in jeopardy of additional financial disruption.
Good point.
So it makes sense to do the homework ahead of time, fix whatever might be in disarray, and then move into another purchase or
absolutely
another
Stella.
level.
That's
great,
correct.
Great. Well, as we come to a close, we can't help but to hear from you on any closing comments, anything our viewers should know as the 2012 year is in continuance and as we move into some of this new opportunity.
I would say that the smartest thing to do in today's environment is to ensure that you are working with a very reputable lender, someone that you can trust. And that's probably the most important thing that you can do in 2012 and going forward.
Well, Helen, you've given us a lot of great information for our viewers to consider and to get themselves back on path financially in whatever their decisions and buying power looks like for the future.
So, well, I hope so, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you, Stella.
We appreciate you joining us for this short moment to bring you some information that's going to help your life in this year 2012, and we hope that you'll take advantage of the information that was given to you and contact your favorite lender so you can get your checklist together and you can move on in 2012. Thank you for joining us and Around Town. My name is Stella Tokar.